Okay, let's look at the final project. I think you can see that here. Um, so there are two options for the final project that you can choose from. One is a software development project where you can develop your own little project, and the other one is the eShop application. In my mind, I prefer to just do the eShop application, but I had some students very much argue that they want to create one app for themselves for their portfolio or something like that. So if you want to do that, you certainly can. But I think the eShop application is the better choice here. But you have to, and you can get full credits either way for this. Either one, we break it down into three sprints. Here again, we have 2 weeks left, and you're thinking, we only have 2 weeks left. How are you doing three sprints? We're working well into New Year's. No. This week, Sunday, the first sprint will be due this Sunday. The following Sunday, the second sprint will be due there. And Monday is is the start of final exam weeks and the showcase. And hopefully one option is you can show some of your work at the showcase there. And then during finals week, I'll let you submit things up until December 22nd here for that stuff. And again, if you want to work ahead, that's fine. So let's just do the software development option two one. I think that's pretty straightforward if you've ever done a software project with me. Kind of general parameters. Sprint one, you have to do at least 15 points of work. Sprint two, another 15 points. And your final, you have to have completed 50 points of work. Here's your menu of options. You have to implement this, create an app that does this stuff and does at least 50 points of stuff here. And again, if there's something else you want to add to this, talk to me. I don't think there's so many other things you can do in here, but I think this is a pretty good list for this. And you just have, again, I want to make sure your app is complex enough to to demonstrate what we're doing in class here. So again, you have to do 50 points work of work. Do it in, again, C# here and set that up. So that's kind of our traditional open-ended project, software development project that you can do. It can be web-based, or it can be console-based, it can be forms-based, whatever you want it to do. I'll just warn you, like if you get into a web-based project, we haven't covered that much, and so that can get complicated there. But again, some people want to create a Blazor web project or something like that, and there's some good templates there that you can start with, just built into Microsoft Visual Studio. I don't know if you remember, like when we did the model view controller one, that's a pretty basic template sort of stuff. Okay, the other one idea is to modify the eShop application here. And this to me is more of a traditional work environment here. We will take this eShop reference app, bring it into GitHub, run it, and we're going to do some sprints, and you just have to do some, for the first sprint, you have to do at least 15 I'm calling them stories points because we're in a sprint now, and that's what we call it. So you have to do at least 15 story points for the first sprint. The second sprint, we do another 15 story points, so 30 points so far. And then for the final sprint, you have to have 50 points again. So 50 points here that you have to do here. And again, you can imagine this. I mean, in a real world, we'd all be working on this, and we'd maybe have our Scrum board, and each one of these would be a post-it on the board or a virtual post-it on the board with the description of it and how many points, and then you'd grab one or you grab different ones and say, I'm going to work on these and work them through there. So these are different user stories for this. And again, I'm not necessarily using the correct or the classic user story technique here. but I think that trying to give you some information here. I'm still updating some of these, and I will add some more. One of my problems is that um, this has all changed. This whole software project has changed quite a bit since 2 years ago when I taught this class. So this whole eShop is very different from last time. And so I have to re-implement all of these story points before I can have you do them to get an idea. And I just haven't done them all for this. So, but that's the idea is that you would do that. And you can pick out which of these story. And again, so let's just walk through this. So one thing you have to do is you're going to want to get this project from GitHub and push to it. So if you click on, oops, I should open up another window, sorry. Okay, if you go here and what I think we did a couple weeks ago is we just cloned this original .NET project, but you clone it, but then you can't commit to it because you don't have privileges to that. So instead, what you do is you are going to make your own copy of this eShop that you can modify and work on, and it will not affect the other one. And we call that a fork in the road there. So you will go here, you will go here, and you will create a new fork. I already have a fork, so I've already done this, but you would create a new fork, give it you would want to own this. It should put that automatically, but again, I already have a fork, so it doesn't do that. And then some name for this. I often see like eShop like underscore Gibbons or something like that would be my version of this or something like that. So you would create your own fork for that. Okay, now once you do that, again, I'm not doing it because I already have a fork. So again, that's this fork area. Once you have that, you will have your own fork. It'll be like, again, it should be GitHub / and then your login and then your this eShop. So it'll make a whole copy of it under your login in GitHub. And then that's the one you want to clone. That's the one that you can commit to there and push. So you're creating your own copy. So make sure, again, you follow the instructions, create a fork here and make a fork and work with that. It would be good once you have that. So now I have this here. It would be good for me just to do a simple test for this here. So maybe just somewhere in one of these programs, I'm just going to go test comment here. And I'm going to go to Git and make sure, check if commit works on this fork. So I'm going to commit and push it here. I'm going to save it and then commit push. And so it should commit and push it there, and it should update here. So now if I go back to, again, in GitHub, my copy of this, I should see my commits. There are now 276 commits here, and the most recent was just today by me. So I can update this copy of it here. I have everyone else's updates up to this point, but now this is my own copy I'm working with, and I don't have to worry about ruining Microsoft's version. So you'll create a fork of this, you'll run it. Remember, you've got to run Docker desktop on this. This is hard to run and build, and I keep running into problems. You have to make sure your Visual Studio is up to date for this to work, that sort of stuff. So if you're trying to run this on your own machine or lab and it's not working, just let me know. And I'll try. I've seen a fair number of problems trying to get this to work there. So let me know, especially if you're using VS Code rather than Visual Studio. We can walk through that also. So, okay, questions on the final project? Here. So again, that's going to be your idea, is to pick one of these two options for the final project here. Oh, and as far as the showcase goes, the showcase is an option here in both. So if you do your own program, you can get 10 points by just showing it to the showcase on Monday final exams. And same with option 1. I should make sure it's in there since I redid it. But again, you should present this project here is at the showcase is worth 10 points also. So again, you don't have to do it at showcase. I know some of you are doing other things at the showcase. You may not want to do this there, but the showcase is optional. Well, you're going to want to be at the showcase, right? You just want to, but it's optional if you want to present, because no one wants to miss the showcase. That would be crazy talk. So, okay. I'll let you, for the rest of the class, if you want to look at the final project or anything like that, all that up. There's no assignments this week. There's just a learning activity that we'll do in class on Thursday. Sound good?